Dear learners of class 9 and 10 of City Government Girls High School, I welcome you all to this online session of the day. Today, this is the third time I am trying to discuss a topic completing sentences using structural items and connectors. You know that I introduced you completing sentences in the previous class. Today, this is the further class, another class for you to complete the sentences. Look at the blackboard, whiteboard, completing sentences using structural items and connectors. First, I want to introduce unless. You are familiar with this? Sometimes you will get sentences where you have to use unless. For example, in your exam, a sentence may come, unless you study you will fail in the exam. So, in the exam, you can get just type of sentence. One of the part will be given and you have to fill up another. You can write this sentence just a way, you will or may fail in the exam unless you study. So, you can get it in the starting of the sentence, you will or may fail in the exam. So, dear learners, you have to identify, you have to understand the meaning of the sentence. Then you can use the negative or affirmative information you have to add. Another sentence we can write, unless you work hard, comma, you cannot shine in life. So, the meaning is unless you work hard, then your sentence will take negative sense, you cannot shine in life. Now, another items I want to introduce is a structure here, so dot that. You can get it in order that. this type of structure will ensure you, indicate you a complex type of sentence. For example, look at here. We go to market, so that this is the first part, then here appears we can buy things. Dear students, you have to follow this verb. Look at here, I have used present tense. So, the model we have used here also present in form. If you get a sentence in this way, we studied, it is studied so that we could get good jobs. Look at here, this is the first tense, studied. So, that time you should not use can, you have to use could. Remember, you can use may in place of can and in place of could, might. In the place so that, so that we can use also in order that. This is one of the structure, and this structure gives us complex type of sentence. Now, another connectors which is very important. This connector is used in the exam for completing sentences most of the time. This is last, and these connectors, if we use these connectors, we make not complex sentence, compound sentence. We can use this in the way work fast, last, you should miss the train. We can write just type of word. They worked fast, last, they should miss the train. So, if you get past tense here, all the time you can use should. If you get an imperative sentence here, that time you can also use should. So, this is important for completing sentences. In the exam, you can get just type of part, and you have to use to fill up the other parts. You should miss the train here, or work fast. You can get only just this part, work fast, then you have to use lest you should miss the train. I hope you have got the point clear. Now, another structure we can use here. as if or as though. It gives us the unreal, something unreal past. For example, he speaks as if he knew everything. In the exam, you can get just above part. He speaks as if, then you have to fill up, you have to write, he knew everything. Look at here, variations here. If you get in the place speaks, first form, what you will write? He spoke as if, that time you have to change. He had known everything. And remember, in the place as if, you can also use as though. For example, he speaks as though he knew everything. He speaks as though he knew everything. He spoke as though he had known everything. Then another structure, our connectors we can use. You are familiar maybe, though, or although. This is the connectors. These are the connectors we use to make complex sentence. For example, though he is poor, and you have to fill up it. What we have to write? Though he is poor, you have to remember that it will give you not the positive sense, it will give you the negative sense. Though he is poor, we know that a poor man can steal, cannot be a good one. But when you have used though, that time you have to use reverse meaning. Though he is poor, he is honest. A poor man, but honest. In the case of though, in compound sentence we use but. He is poor but honest. But in the complex sentence we write though he is poor, he is honest. More example. Although they had good qualifications, they did not get jobs. They had qualifications, so they should get job. But when you use although, will show reverse, meaning that they didn't get jobs. Another structure, look at, it is time or it is high time. And most familiar in the exam, most of the times we have found that one of the sentence for completing is given from using this structure. It is time, this phrase shall work, this time it is high time. This means that this is the time we have finished. We should do it before. We had to complete this thing before, but we didn't do it. So, for example, we can write it is time we started it is time we started our journey. You are in your journey. It is high time we discuss the matter. So, look at here, it is time what we have used and real past year started, because we should do it earlier, but we missed the time. So, we have used first form, though we have here is, it is time we started our journey, it is high time we discuss the matter. In other structure, so, not that. It is used for making complex sentence, and in the dots we have used adjectives or adverbs. For example, she is so sick that she cannot walk. You look at here, we have used this structure, so, then, adjective sick. And this is present tense, so we have used here model in present tense. If you get the lines here this way, she was so weak that she could not walk. So, I have completed this structure. Remember that this is in the place of is, I have used was. So, you have to also use in the place of cannot, could not. So, my dear students, I think you have got these points I have discussed today, and you will practice from your book exercises given, then you will earn proficiency, and hope that you will remain safe and sound, and see you in the next class, next session. Thank you all.